Beats like a Conan, changing your programming face, he's a bold man. High flying in a day minister. Step in the ring with him and he might get sinister. The veteran against bad guys, they medicine. Knocking on the champion's door, you better let him in. If you're down and you need a sign, just look to the ambassador of the pride. I was made to exhale, live to exhale. Second breath, your life to hear. Exhale, I come to break this ring with honor. The sky's no limit, I'm more than a conqueror. Made to exhale, live to exhale. Second breath.
It's Monday, December 1st, 2014, and next 2-on-2-8's here to give you his predictions for Ring of Honor's biggest show of the year, the one that closes it all out, Final Battle 2014, location Terminal 5 in New York City. Anyway, seven matches on the board, as I mentioned. Here's what we've got. Up first, Grudge Match. R.D. Evans with Veda in his corner taking on Moose and Stokely Hathaway, with Stokely Hathaway and Prince Nana in his corner. Theme of this match, Moose more or less screwed RD out of the news streak and the TV title at Glory by Honor in San Antonio a few weeks ago. Now, and as I had anticipated when I did my Tag Wars predictions, my predictions for the Tag Wars tournament, Moose did what he did because Prince Nana got in his ear, and in turn, Nana more or less got his revenge. I mean, think about it. While it hasn't been brought up that often until recently, 2 years ago, Evans pretty much stole the embassy right out from underneath Nana's nose. And Moose is pretty much his means of getting back at Evans, more or less taking the news streak and probably the television title away from RD. Therefore, RD's not going to be in a 100% state of mind. So, I'm going to say the win goes to Moose! 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 Okinajima, or however you pronounce his surname, for the win. Mentor against student. Roderick Strong versus BJ Whitmer of the Decade, who will have BJ versus Adam Page of the Decade, who will have BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs in his corner. Roderick Strong has left the Decade, and personally, I don't think he really fit in the Decade. If it was someone like, say, a Colt Cabana, or even a Delirious, I'd be okay with it. And then it would be fine. But Strong, while he has been in the company the longest and has very sporadically delved himself in the other promotions, he is Ring of Honor to the core. Adam Page has gone from a humble kid who grew up on a tobacco farm in Aaron's Creek to pretty much in my opinion, the mad dog that the Decade has let loose. A monster they've created. How do you deal with a mad dog? You put him down. That said, Roddy will have his work cut out for him, as he's got to deal with not just Page in the ring, but Whitmer and Jacobs outside of the ring. And it's that fact alone that I say Adam Page gets the win in this one. 6-man tag, Young Bucks and ACH against The Addiction and Cedric Alexander. Personally, I don't really see the Young Bucks even being willing to get along with ACH. The Bucks are all about themselves, and they don't care who they have to super kick in the face to get that point across. Super kick party all around in this one, but I say The Addiction and Cedric Alexander come out on top. In a rematch from the Super J Tag Tournament Final, in a rematch from the Power Struggle New Japan event, right? Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champs and current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champs, reDRagon defend against former IWGP Junior Tag Team Champs, the Time Splitters, Alex Shelley and KUSHIDA. This match is more or less to help build up the fuel for the fire that's going to take place at Wrestle Kingdom 9 when these two teams, along with the Bucks and the Hooligans, go at it in a 4-way match for the IWGP Junior belts and Junior Tag belts. And the way I see it, reDRagon has really been on a roll. I mean, they're pretty much this decade's version of the Briscoes. They've won the belts 3 times, have held it longer than anybody this decade, longer than anybody in this decade, and that's just within the past 2 years alone. Fish and O'Reilly have proven their worth as one of the best tag teams in the past couple of years in the world. And the Ring of Honor and IWGP Ring of Honor tag titles and the IWGP Junior tag titles is proof of that. But granted, they're only the third team to do so. I mean, the Hooligans did it, and the Young Bucks did it. But will the Time Splitters be able to get their revenge by capturing the ROH World Tag Titles? Not in my view. I'm going to say reDRagon retains. This carries over to Wrestle Kingdom 9. And this little vendetta is going to carry over to Wrestle Kingdom 9. Next up, Problem Child against Problem Child, more or less. Former Ring of Honor World Champion, Unbreakable Michael Elgin, versus the Sicilian Psychopath, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso has been pretty much put on warning. He's already got 2 strikes against him. If he physically attacks another ROH official or employee who is not a trained wrestler, at least the best terms to this no-tolerance policy that Nigel's slapped on him, then he's gone for good. Elgin has pretty much mentally unwound himself, become mentally unraveled after losing the title, the ROH World title at All-Star Extravaganza 6 to Jay Briscoe. So, these are 2 men who want to take each other out. I mean, let's face it, Elgin pretty much cost Ciampa survival of the fittest. And part of this is on that fact alone, and that Elgin beat Ciampa, which sent Ciampa on his stage of psychosis back at Death Before Dishonor weekend in Chicago Ridge. I say Ciampa gets a little payback in this one. Next, television title match. Jay Lethal with Truth Martini to defend against reborn Matt Sydal. Jay Lethal has held that title long enough now. 19 successful title defenses. Granted, he hasn't lasted he hasn't lasted as long as Taven did last year when he dropped the belt at Final Battle. But he's going to have to drop that strap sooner or later. And if there's one man who can do it and complete his rebirth in the Ring of Honor, it's Matt the High-Flying Sydal. I say reborn Matt Sydal walks into Manhattan a challenger, but walks out the new Ring of Honor World TV Champion. Finally, main event. ROH World title, Fight Without Honor. what many have called, to an extent, ROH's feud of the year. Jay Briscoe against Adam Cole. Jay Briscoe was forced to hand Cole the title last year after the Death Before Dishonor tournament, and to determine a new world champ when Jay was forced to vacate it. Cole superkicked him in the back of the skull. Ever since, Cole's become the egomaniacal brat that he is. Glory by Honor 12, Jay revealed his own custom-made version of the title since he never technically lost it. Cole beat Briscoe in Ladder War 5 at Supercard of Honor 8, with help from Bennett and Hardy, might I add. Cole gives the custom title to Matt Hardy, who then in turn gives it to Maria, after rechristening it the Iconic title, now rechristening it the title of Love. Jay is still upset about that. And he wants his property back. They met each other at Field of Honor in a four-way that also involved Elgin and Styles for the ROH World title, but by that point, Cole had already lost the title to Elgin at Best in the World, rolled in June. And in Brooklyn, Cole was forced to the back of the line. It was only a few weeks later when Jay Briscoe, who hasn't been beaten in 2 years, I might add, almost, beat Michael Elgin, where I didn't give him much of a chance, to become only the second man to hold the ROH World Heavyweight Championship twice. If this feud's going to end, good must triumph over evil. I.e., Jay Briscoe kills Adam Cole's little bitch punk ass. So Cole, this Sunday, you either man up, or Jay Briscoe is going to shut you. Going to make sure that you shut up. Because nobody mocks another man's daddy. And there's one thing Jay's good at. It's whooping anybody's ass. I foresee in Adam Cole's future a Jay Driller through a table, off the top of a ladder, and onto a set of chairs. Granted, this is not Ladder War 6, it's a fight without honor, but I'm just saying. Counts have to be done in the ring, but everything else can go. Viewer discretion is advised for this match, folks. So I say, man up, Jay Briscoe walks into Manhattan the champion, and he walks out still the ROH World Champion. Look for the Kingdom and Mark Briscoe to try to get involved. Run interference on both behalves, on their respective behalves. That's all I've got. Ring of Honor's Final Battle will be live on pay-per-view this Sunday. If you're willing to burn $25 for it, go right ahead. Call your local cable or satellite provider or for local listings. Peace.